Assalamu alaikum, hello everyone. My name is Mohammad Arsami and I'm official representative at NC Solicitors. Today's video will be regarding Australia, and in this particular video we are going to discuss the first major change that Australia has brought in Australia as far as international travel is concerned. The change that we have been waiting for past 18 months, it has now begun, and there will be further details that will be shared in this particular video, so kindly do watch the full video. And for all those people who haven't subscribed to our channel, kindly subscribe the channel so that you can get the latest information on English countries on daily regular basis. Right now, the good news is, the big news is that Australia has eased the international border restrictions as promised. It's a promise that has been fulfilled now. It's not a promise like before, Australia used to make regarding pilot programs, and then they used to skip it. But this time, as PM Scott Morrison has said multiple times, that from 1st of November, for nationals only, Australian national only travel, international travel will be opened, and the Australian nationals that have been struck abroad will be able to come back to Australia. Finally, that promise has been fulfilled. Right now, today, early this morning, on Monday, on 1st of November, a flight from Los Angeles and Singapore has came into Australia, and there were Australian nationals on that particular flight, and there was joy at the airport, there were tears at the airport, and people were happy. At the same time, people were a bit sad. You can say sad in a positive, in a worried sense, because most of the people came into get together with their family. They wanted to see their parents. Some of the people were having their family members, they were sick, their parents were sick. They came back to see them, particularly they wanted to meet them. It was you can say a point of reunion. It was a moment, an occasion of reunion, which obviously, and people then have cried, and people have celebrated that particular moment as well. Now, it is a very important point to remember that it has been more than 18 months now that Australia has shut down its international borders, and this is, you can say, this is the main first flight that has came in to Australia, carrying Australian nationals without any restrictions. There will be no quarantine. There will be no quarantine charges as well. Obviously, people will not be quarantining. They will not have to quarantine in hotels. They will be going home directly, and they will be with their families, and at home they can quarantine easily. There is no particular restrictions. And we are talking about Australia. Again, Australia is a country that has dealt with COVID-19 in the most severe way. All other countries have been opened. All other countries have welcomed international students and tourists, but Australia now, in November 2021, are opening up their international borders for their nationals only right now. So this is a big change. This was a big promise, a heavy promise that Australia has now fulfilled. And in coming months, you will see international students and workers and migrants coming into Australia, because that is phase 2. PM Scott Morrison has clearly stated that they are working on the workers, they are working on international workers, international students, but first priority is their nationals. That priority has been set, and they are working on it right now as we speak. People are coming in, nationals are coming into Australia. So the phase 1 will be going through like this, but the next phase will be international students and migrants. They will be coming back into Australia. That will be phase 2, and this will be implemented as well. Now, we are, as a consultant, you as a student, as a viewer, you are in a position where we can judge, where we can rely on this particular information, because this time Australia has delivered. This is the very first time that Australia has delivered. As discussed earlier, Australia announced pilot programs. They got the federal approval as well. Some got state approval, but the programs got shut down. But now, as vaccination rate is getting higher, they are getting closer to the national action plan. So it is going to happen that Australia is going to open up its international borders. Now, the next priority will be the tourist, or you can say the people of Singapore, the nationals of Singapore, because PM Scott Morrison from past 1 year, he's been trying to get the Singapore people into Australia, because he's highly impressed by the hospital system that is in place in Singapore, the COVID-19, the vaccination rate there is there in Singapore, and how they are dealing the pandemic, they're dealing the COVID-19 situation. PM Scott Morrison was highly impressed and is highly impressed by Singapore. So they will be getting Singapore national as well into Australia. Now this means that Australia is now opening up its international borders. They are making it easy right now for the nationals, but at the later stages, obviously, they are going to bring back international students, they are going to bring back the migrants, they are going to bring back the tourists. This is going to happen now, and this time I can say from the past 18 months I have been very hopeful. I have been very positive in my videos. I've shared all the details. I have shared all the videos regarding the international border opening and Australia. Overall, people have asked me on WhatsApp, they have called me and all. My students' parents are calling me that they haven't met their children from the past 18 months or 2 years, and 2 year plus also, because before COVID students were there, they were working, they weren't coming home, they were planning to come home in March 2020 or July 2020, but unfortunately they were unable to travel abroad because of COVID-19 situation. But now this is a good news for all the parents. This is a good news for all the international students. This is good news for all those people, all those international communities that want to travel to Australia. Now it is going to happen finally, and people will start going to Australia soon. Now this is November, as promised delivered. 1st of November, nationals have started to come back into Australia. Now before Christmas, it is highly expected that international students will be coming into Australia. New South Wales program will go through, and the South Australia program will go through. Now we can rely, we can expect on this particular information now, from this particular information, because now Australia is starting to deliver. And by the next year, as said by PM Scott Morrison, more international visitors and more international students will start coming in. Now all those international students, specifically because the major question that I get is regarding the international students. So all the international students should get their files ready. They should get their deferment offers ready, they should get their COs ready, they should get their financials ready, and they should get their visas ready as well. Inshallah, by the end of this year, before Christmas, or by the start of next year, inshallah, international students will start going to Australia, and international community will rejoin again in Australia. Now this is a good, positive news with authentic information, and now this is something, this time I am happy as well. Now this is something that has been delivered now. They are starting to deliver now. International flights are going to Australia. Vaccination rate is going up there as well. All those demands that we have put forward in front of Australian you can say government, or we have discussed this in our video, that they should do this and this particular step, and only that way they will be able to open up their international borders. Australia is finally doing that, and they are opening up their international borders. So inshallah, be hopeful, be positive. Inshallah, by the start of next year, maximum amount of international students will be going to Australia. So I hope you have liked this video. Kindly do tell me in the comment section how you like this video or not. What are your thoughts about this particular news? Right, I'll be waiting for your response. Thank you very much for your time. Take care. Allah Hafiz.